So here where we share it, all the stories, from the stories what are hidden and swept under the mat. So if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It really does help, and it costs you nothing, and you can get it by clicking the link just there below. And today's stories: Whoopi Goldberg, the far left, the queen of the left, walks off the show. And the man who makes his own song up, singing about the corruption in the world. This is a good one for you guys. You'll enjoy this. And the war in Ukraine, the truth about the corruption. So we'll start with this story, where all the money's going and how bad it really is. So we'll start with this, guys. Right, and guys, some more truth here about Ukraine for us, and the lies he's been telling, and where your money's going. So let's listen to the story and the new stuff that's come out.
Biden, if you haven't been paying attention, just approved another $24 billion for Ukraine because they need it. But where is all that money going, you may ask? Don't ask that question, because the government sure as hell isn't. It's going, though, into the pockets of corrupt. Yeah, don't ask that question. But it is going into the pockets of Ukrainian government officials, corrupt Ukrainian government officials, by the way. Was dragging men off the streets and throwing them into the front lines. And of course, at the time, this was touted by Ukrainians, saying, "Hey, no, this is Kremlin propaganda. Like this is Kremlin propaganda. What you're seeing here, this isn't really happening. Don't listen to what Moscow is telling you. Don't listen to independent journalists who are covering the story and actually reporting what's happening to these men who are being rounded up at cafes, and if they're of military fighting age, or even if they're not, doesn't matter. They're going to be thrown into the meat grinder." Even mentally handicapped individuals, people with disabilities. One man we featured here on the show who literally has a degenerative spinal condition, can barely even walk.
Let's just pause it there. If we look back at about 3-4 months ago, he was getting that desperate. He even had the cheek to say to America and to the West, to us, that we've got to send our kids over there to help him go in the meat grinder and fight the war.
Walk. Here's a mom. Remember this scene where this mom is like, no, please get out of my car. I'm not letting you take my son. Her son is in the car, sitting in the back seat, and the mom is like, no, please, you're not getting him out of the car. And the police officers show up and say, "Sir, what are you doing here? This is our jurisdiction. We're the police. You members of the military have no right to be taking these men. Excuse me, sir, get out of here." So this is well reported. We covered this pretty deeply here on the show. Many of these men had physical disabilities. And basically, we also discussed how Ukrainians were bribing recruitment officials to avoid being dragged away. Again, it wasn't just our reporting. I mean, this was the Wall Street Journal reporting. Here's the Wall Street Journal. Officials last week denied that they denied this. Ukraine denied this, that untrained mobilized troops were being sent to battle unprepared, though they said the length of military training has been squeezed into a shorter period of time due to the war. That's Kremlin propaganda continues to spread fakes and myths. Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar said in a Telegram post. Several soldiers interviewed by the Wall Street Journal near Bakhmut last week said they had been sent to battle within days of being called up. Others said they've received several weeks of training. And then, of course, the Wall.
See, the thing is with this Wall and Zelensky and how corrupt they are, you won't hear it on the fake media, the BBC and the news. So when I have a lot of arguments about this with people who think he's the good guy, Zelensky, when he actually isn't. He's corrupt. He's taking money. The weapons we were sending, he was actually selling them. He weren't even using them. He was just selling them, getting the money. And he's corrupt as hell. And he's making people fight and stuff. Shocking, guys.
The Wall Street Journal went on to explain more of the corruption and the payments and the bribes, but that's Kremlin propaganda. Okay, remember that. That's Kremlin propaganda, according to Ukraine. Well, it turns out, I guess the Kremlin propagandists were correct because it wasn't Kremlin propaganda at all. Ukraine just confirmed it themselves. According to Barron's, Zelensky fires the head of military enlistment in all Ukrainian regions. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on Friday dismissed officials responsible for military conscription in every region of the country.
See, guys, if you don't go with them or you say something bad against it, they'll cancel you. If you speak out, they'll cancel you. If you talk the truth, they'll cancel you. And that's how ruthless they are.
Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on Friday dismissed officials responsible for military conscription in every region of the country.
See, guys, if you don't go with them or you say something bad against it, they'll cancel you. If you speak out, they'll cancel you. If you talk the truth, they'll cancel you. And that's how ruthless they are. Even his own men, if they start to doubt him or question him, straight away, out there's the door. See you later.
Citing corruption allegations that he said could amount to treason. We are dismissing all. They're not just one. All of them are corrupt. We're dismissing all of the military commissars. The system should be run by people who know exactly what war is and why cynicism and bribery at a time of war is high treason. Kyiv has been conscripting Ukrainians for assault battalions for its counteroffensive against Russian forces to recapture territory controlled by Moscow's troops. Turns out that billions of dollars have gone into the pockets of corrupt government officials. You know, the ones responsible for the men being dragged off the streets, thrown into the meat grinder on the front lines.
Put that back up. It says that last screen.
From Barron's?
Yeah. The move reflects Ukraine's efforts to clamp down on graft. What do they mean by that?
Like the amount of money being taken, bribes? I mean, being taken.
See, guys, it was a good one, it was. He comes over in his tank top begging, and people just give it. People have a whip round, and we're in a state ourselves, our country, but yet we'll send money over to them and help them, and it's wrong, guys. Especially when he's not even doing anything with the money. It's just corruption. Biden's giving millions, America, and they're worse than us. But what they're doing is Biden gives him the money. He was putting it into stocks and shares, and the Sam Bankman. That's another story, guy. We'll have to do a talk on that because all of a sudden he's vanished off the face of the earth, and he bankrupt everyone. I don't know if you know the story about him, Sam Bankman. He was a stock market exchange guy.
That would fit in there. But okay, I'm sorry to derail. I just wondered what that was, and they should stop that.
It's an intent improperly to influence official action need not be alleged or proved, as it must be in bribery. Graft involves compensation for service performed in an official manner.
Didn't know that word.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Anyway, it turns out billions of dollars have been grafted.
Got it.
Into the pockets of corrupt Ukrainian government officials. Cui bono? The ones responsible for dragging men off the streets, throwing them into the meat grinder of the front lines. 33 government recruitment officials were fired. 33.
That's good, guys.
In all of the conscription territories. 113 crimes were charged.
Absolute shocking.
Crimes. That's more than Hunter Biden.
See, you don't get this on the media, guys.
On Friday, Zelensky,
100 more to be exact.
Yeah, 100 more than Hunter Biden. 100 more, if you're keeping track at home. On Friday, Zelensky explained that...
110 more. Sorry.
Okay.
113.
On Friday, Zelensky explained that the investigation resulted in 33 officials overseeing conscription being charged with these 113 crimes. He said during the inspection of the territorial recruitment centers, law enforcement officials exposed cases of corruption, in particular during the general mobilization, he said, which poses a threat to Ukraine's national security and undermines confidence in state institutions. Is there confidence in Ukraine's state institutions? Like, it'd be interesting to see what the Ukrainian people and how they feel about their own government state institutions. Do they have confidence in it? Because apparently this is being undermined.
I mean, that's so nice, except that new conscription laws say that you can literally like go into people's apartment buildings and ask the property management who lives here and go and find.
Well, get your wallets out, guys. They need more. They always need more. Zelensky's wife needs a new handbag. So dig deep, guys. Don't worry about paying your £500 a week electric bill. Get your money out and send it to Zelensky so his wife can have a new handbag.